Spending some time in Kenya recently. So I actually first, Nyangenya, when he contacted me to come and say a few things and welcome him back, I was very happy that he came to thank the people who supported him. Because that in itself is a very unique thing. It's actually a diaspora culture. Kenya has really changed, and I wanted to take a few minutes to speak about the change for the worse, not for the better. Not all change is good. Some change is a reverse engineering. It's not a good thing. Now, Nyangenya has been a very vibrant. I remember when we were working together back in 08 or 09. I remember bringing him up to stage to speak on behalf of the youth. So I've watched him over time. I've been able to support him where was necessary and where I could, because we need more diaspora people. And I want to tell you 3 quick stories, and then I will end. I looked briefly, I'm sorry I missed his talk, but I looked briefly at his notes. 3 things stood out. That's very diasporic. You know, he has on his notes, very interesting, self-respect, discipline, fear of the Lord, faith, promise keeping. That has all disappeared from Kenya. How many of you have been back to Kenya recently? Spent more than at least a week. It's a man-eat-man society. It really is. It is really, the society has become, there's a certain level of greed that is so palpable, almost satanic. It's very palpable. Everybody wants to buy a Prado or a Range Rover at every cost, at any cost. Everyone wants to grab land at any cost, at any cost. Everyone wants to be in public office at any cost, any cost. No matter what, the pastor is corrupted, the imam is corrupted. It's not days when it was exclusive to one group. There is a real societal decay in which orphans are not spared, women are not spared, cousins steal from cousins, brothers steal from brothers. It is really bad. And I know he can speak to this. Not to depress you. The diaspora has a role. And this is what I want to end my comments with. People like Nyangenya have a bridge they can build. Why? He has not failed. This is, you know, football, you make what? Inches and? How do you get a field goal? You know you can win without a touchdown, right? Yeah. You don't have to get the touchdown. It's accurate, it's yard, right? You build. How do you build a soccer goal? From the back to passing. Next time, it's an easy switch because he's got all the legwork done. Secondly, he has changed lives by going there. Already, he has sent an earthquake in certain places that will probably do things differently. That's why they are scared of the diaspora. Why do you think they'll put conditions like what they did with Mwenda of dual citizenship and all this nonsense? Because people are fearing that you guys will bring ideas of values. Values like what he has on his paper. Self-discipline. Treat women fairly. Fear of the Lord. This is good values. But it's only the diaspora that actually practices. The others are just preaching. They are not practicing. Most people in the diaspora, of course, every place has bad people. So I'm not saying we are 100% good. But most people from the diaspora would think twice before they take someone's property. There is some certain level of compassion that comes from living in a civilized society, where people have self-actualized, where there is right of ownership. And you look at your daughters here, and you see them just as good as your son. No difference. You see here that your neighbor, takes care, how you do your lawn affects the value of the neighborhood. So you get a communal sense. You take back values that, yes, originally they were Kenyan, but they have really strayed away from the values of the rule of the law and camaraderie and respecting human values and human lives. Now, finally, there's 2 things that are happening in Kenya. I spent in the last 4 months, In the last 4 months, I spent about a week to 10 days in a month in Kenya. I've been up and down the country. I have a place up in Nanyuki in Ethi, almost a 24 acres farm. I'm doing some farming. I spent time in Kenya. I'm in Nairobi. I have an office in Nairobi. And I can tell you, if many of you grew up, some of you may have grown up in Kenya, with the exception of these young guys born here, there is a certain pace to acquire things that is really destroying the society. And there is a certain level of celebrity worship in which elected officials can brag on TV about what chains they have and the number of girlfriends they have. This was uncouth. Many people in the 90s, even as late as the 90s, they will have left the room if you talk like that. If a governor, at the time we had PCs, we had DCs, we had ministers, if a cabinet secretary in Kenya was doing what some of our people are doing today, nobody would have gone even to their office. Nobody would have respected them. This age where people can do anything, and if they have a Range Rover, they are fine. That is disastrous. The ethics and morals of a society in which you are judged by how you treat your weak and your young is eroded. So I hope people from the diaspora go back. Even if you don't run, go back. Let people see that you can go to a meeting without looking for a tender. You know, you can actually help someone without expecting something in return. You know, people get shocked today when you do that in Kenya. Na kwa nini anafanya hivyo? Ati amekusaidia. It's shocking, right? Oh, you don't understand Swahili? Oh, sorry. I was saying, they will ask questions like that. Ati huyu mtu amekusaidia na hakuna kitu tampatia. They're shocked. Ati amekupatia tu lunch. Ati amepatia mtoto wako school fees na hakuna kitu nampatia. That's the Kenya we grew up in. That's the Kenya we grew up in, where people helped each other. Really. And there's nothing like that now. You go to a meeting that publicly discusses percentage of the tender before it is awarded. I actually sat across from someone who said they paid 88% of the face value of the tender before it was inked on signature. Let me say this one more time. Someone paid 88%. So a bridge, a road, a highway, 300 million, someone took 88% of the project upfront. So what is the businessman making? 12% gross? Even the math doesn't add up. So that's the Kenya that's out there, okay? You guys need to engage. You need to engage. If nothing else, you can slow down the damage. In each constituency, engage. In each county, engage. Engage. If you have land, don't trust relatives alone. Do your homework. Get a lawyer. It's rough out there. Get a lawyer. Make sure somebody is documenting it to you, that you have legal representation, that you actually have used technology like GPS. Put GPS monitors on your stuff. Get bank accounts yourself. Take a trip there if you can. For those of us who may be challenged and you can't go, I understand. This Kenya Airways direct flight, get on it. It's 13 hours. Take 3 days off. Do it yourself. Re-engage in the country. This is really what we can do. What Nyangenya has done is phenomenal. He has not failed. That's success. You don't have to win the seat. You know, Abe Lincoln tried how many times? And it's probably the most remarkable president of the United States. The most remarkable president of the United States. In fact, those who win the first time are not the ones who become really consequential in the end. The ones who become really consequential in the end are the ones whose road was harder to get there. Because then you really value the position when you get it. So when he gets it, he's going to know how hard it was to get there. So Godspeed, tuombeane, tukumbukane sisi wote ni wa Kenya, tujaribu sana kuengage katika nchi yetu. Because it's only waiting for us. The days when there was no clan, there was no tribe, you went to any office, people helped you, guys were in boarding school eating mkate mayai together and bandika, you had githeri drying in your hands, and life was fine. It's gone. It's just greed. And everyone wants to have a home in Karen or Runda. Everyone wants to have a Prado or a Range Rover, and they might even kill for it. And they won't be sad about killing for it. That Kenya, I don't think any of you want part of that. And that's why I'm very encouraged about the diaspora, because you have value systems. So please re-engage. Nashkurun Bwana Nyangenya, asante sana for what you have done. And the rest of us, Henry, Bernard, also us who are here, we have to engage. We have to re-engage. These people who are already starting an election 5 years before the election date, what development are they going to do? Let's re-engage. Let's re-engage and work with the private sector. That's my final message. Engage the private sector, not necessarily the politician. Engage the private sector. Talk to people in business. Talk to people in your local communities who are in business, because there's still a lot of ethics left there. Asanteni sana, nimewashukuru.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Daktari. I think we need to send you so that you can be able to represent us. Abana bamintu. Bono Abel, thank you for coming. Maybe you will have thank you. We are just recognizing you. Maybe when time allows, you can be able to say a word. As much as comes, I want to say thank you because